Hi everybody, it's Kelly, also known on Twitter as Kellann1977, and today is February 13th, Thursday, one day before Valentine's Day. I did say I wanted to record in a couple of days a vlog discussing the Hawaiian mother, or the mother who now lives in Hawaii. I did a lot of research yesterday, watched some news that I didn't see that is of course on YouTube as well as where they live at. So my understanding is that this mother has a 17-year-old daughter that she gave birth to, and she has a son that she adopted who's 7. I have no clue how long she's had him, if she got him when he was born. I don't know that information. But I do know that JJ's biological grandmother is in the picture, which is suggesting to me that this is an open adoption and that she has legal rights to see him and communicate with him. She even knows where they live, and she's been over to the house in October, knocking on the door. She assumed that somebody was there, but with investigation, they found out that the mother and the now stepfather moved in September to Hawaii and got married in October. They never said what date, like was it in the middle of the month or anything like that. So what I do know is that the children have been missing since September. That was the last time they were seen. They went to school, and 3 weeks after school started, they were removed. The mother, who's in her 40s, said to her son, who I believe is in his late 20s now, she has 3 children, that his biological sister was going to go and live with her and her stepfather in Hawaii. And she was very excited to go. But she has a lot of friends out here. She had a full-time job as well. She had a car. She applied to colleges. So I'm not seeing her being excited to go to Hawaii, where my understanding is this mother's last husband, who was the ex-husband now deceased, they had this property together, was my understanding. But again, I could be wrong. I was told that they both were adopted. I found out only one was adopted. So this information may not be 100% correct. It's just what I know or what I've heard. I don't know if anybody watches Without a Crystal Ball. Katie Joy, she is covering the story about once a week. She updates us. She graduated in college, and so she knows how to investigate and proper sources and sorting them, and she knows what she can and cannot say without being sued and stuff. And then I watch Get Ready to Galore, and she's a very unique individual woman, and I like her a lot. And she covers stories that have to do usually with children involved. She's very open about what she went through growing up and stuff, and this is why she covers it. She lets people know, she talks about it, she asks people's opinion. By any means, she's not an investigator or anything like that, but that's what her channel is about, and she's also covering this story as well. So she reads the articles that she finds, and she talks about it and then asks us our opinion. So this is basically where I'm getting the information from both of them, as well as news clips. There was one from New York that was talking to somebody from Florida, and a private investigator, and they were talking about the situation, about the cell phone. So that's what's going on. The kids are missing. They found the 17-year-old cell phone in Hawaii. Now, the mother and stepfather have not left Hawaii since September. That means she had to have had the cell phone already with her, or somebody mailed it to her. But in October sometime, there was a few text messages sent, and there was some money exchanged through an application from this young lady's phone. Since she's never been to Hawaii since who knows when, there's no nothing. It's a very small island called Kauai, Kuin, and they don't have airplanes, airports. They may have a small landing zone, but I'm pretty sure they went by boat. So nobody's seen this girl. Nobody's seen this 7-year-old boy. Now, she told a family member that, and they're not saying if it's a cousin or aunt or whatever, but she told a family member that both of the children she gave up so that she could go to Hawaii and get married because they didn't want to go. But when investigators went and asked this person, they have no clue what she's talking about. So maybe she assumed they wouldn't go ask or something. I'm not sure. So it's been a while. September, now we're in February. You know, it's not looking good, I feel, for these children. There was a storage unit that got opened right before she moved. People were in it in September. People were in it in October. And people were in it twice in November. Things were put in and things were taken right back out. From the camera view, some things were not wrapped up properly. They were just kind of thrown in there. That the guy who owns it, who watched the video, saw guns and some electronics. So stealing things, is she running around with the wrong crowd? Don't know. The only thing that was left when they got the phone call from the guy who owns the unit at the end of December, he said that her bill never went through, that he waited 30 days, he's been following the news, he knows who she is because of her last name, and he called the cops and asked the cops if they want to come and look at the storage because he now owns the property that is inside. There wasn't much left. He said that when she did rent it, it was filled to the top. It was also rugged, and he said he doesn't rug his units and there's no electric in the unit. So it's very weird that it was rugged, but it was. So unusual. So a few bikes were left from JJ, who's now 7. Some had training wheels, some didn't. Some scooters, some winter clothing, a few toys, helmets, basketballs, things like that. And they found 2 albums. One was dedicated to JJ and only had pictures of him, and one was dedicated to her 17-year-old daughter. Only pictures of her were in there. So it's very unusual that you're going to take something that you took so much time to put together and just throw it in a unit. But it seemed like she tried to clear the unit out as soon as possible, because maybe she heard something, maybe somebody texted or something that they were looking for the kids. People were concerned and worried. Her son being one who actually had an interview and explained what happened, and that he was asked by his mother, and I don't know what month, but he was asked by his mother to come visit, that she missed him. He went to go visit, and his sister wasn't there. And when he questioned the mother, well, where's my sister? I thought she was coming. She wouldn't answer him. And then he claims that he told her off and said that he wanted nothing else to do with her and left. Who knows if that's true? People have said, like, her ex-sister-in-law and JJ's biological grandmother has said something about a cult, and she's been really involved in it. And at first, it was just reading books, and apparently her new husband wrote 2 books about doomsday, and she has read these books. She had them autographed by him. She had them in her home. So that is the connection that the cops have found between these two. They did not live in the same state. So she's had, far as I know, 3 exes have died in the past about 10 years. They did not say her first husband, who is her 17-year-old's father. They did not say when they divorced and how old the daughter was at the time. But they divorced. She had to relocate and start over again. And 2 years later, he died of a heart attack. There was an autopsy. So this is what they said, it was a heart attack. And his sister was very close to her. And they were close after the 2 year divorce as well. And she said she would come around and visit and see her niece. And she noticed that the mother was acting very strange. She was saying mean things about her father, who's now dead. And she kept talking about the end of the world and preparing for it, and it's going to happen soon. You're talking, she's been like this for about 10 years, but it's getting worse. Um, Her last husband that died, uh, they were divorced. He relocated. She got the house for, I guess they might have adopted JJ together. I'm not really sure about that again. So he let her have the house. And there was a 1 million life insurance on him. And when the divorce was finalized, he contacted her and he said, I'm taking you off my life insurance. And I don't know if he was going to put somebody else on or what. And within 3 months, he was dead of him saying this to her. And of course, he has a lawyer, so the lawyer knows that he wanted to take her off. He never got the chance to take her off, and I don't know what took so long. So as far as I know, she did get the $1 million because her brother went over there to fight with him, and he was shot in the chest, and that's how he died. And the brother said it was self-defense. They never got a chance to talk to her 17-year-old daughter because she kept saying, no, you can't talk to my daughter without my permission. But come to find out in the police report, the 17-year-old daughter was there and witnessed what happened. Now she's missing. And the cops got a thing from the judge to be able to talk to her without the mother's permission. And that's when she disappeared. So a lot of shady stuff is going on. There's something about a cousin of hers and supposedly her brother 6 weeks after defending himself with her ex-husband shot 2 people who were exes of the family. I absolutely don't think it was him. He was found a couple weeks later dead. And they never said how long he was dead or, how he died or anything like that yet. They haven't released that information as far as I know. So there's a lot of shady stuff going on. So 3 months after her ex-husband's now dead, this man's wife dies. But she died in October. The beginning of October. They already were in Hawaii in September of some time. I do believe he killed his wife. There was no talk of separation. He was apparently already seeing this other woman. There was no fights. The family said everything was fine. As far as they knew, he was away on business. And he traveled a lot, talking about this doomsday. And traveling, I guess, with the church that he's a part of. So it's shady that, she dies a few weeks after he goes to Hawaii. And then 2 weeks after her death, that he knew she was dead, he got married. And they show pictures of the wedding and a video of him singing and her dancing and the makeup, the hair, the nice outfits, the nice food, everything set up like this was planned for a while. That doesn't look good when your children have been missing for about 6 weeks. Doesn't look good at all. That this is what you want to do. So everything looks really, really shady. Unfortunately, when the wife died in her sleep, who's perfectly healthy, they decided not to have an autopsy and just bury her. Now, there could be a good thing to this and a bad thing. The body could be preserved very well and there's no chemicals, embalming fluid. So the blood and any toxins, any medication, if it wasn't, like if they try to make it, use the medicine, try to make it look like a heart attack or something, then that's pretty much still going to be there, hopefully, or at least in the tissues. So they did get a warrant to look at her body now. And now, mind you, she died in October. So November, December, January, February, it's been 4 months. But I'm not sure where he's from either. Oakland or something. I'm not sure where he's from. I thought it started with an O. So I don't know how warm or how cold it is there. But they're waiting on the autopsy to come in, and if it does look like foul play and it wasn't natural, then they're both going to be looked into that as well. Um, so it's just awful, and I would be afraid to be a part of her life, a friend, a family, anything, because this woman's cycle. How many people need to die that have something to do with her? That's not normal. Um, so tell me your thoughts. If you know anything that I don't know or I didn't talk about, please let me know. As I said, I did not hear about this right away. I've only been following it for a couple of weeks. And I've been trying to search for information to see what's going on. Um, so it's a scary thought. JJ's biological grandmother is calling her a black widow. So that doesn't look good. And the fact that she's not working, now he's not working, they're living in Hawaii, which is a little island that doesn't have much business. It's a tourist island. It looks kind of shady. And the only time pretty much that she leaves the house and he leaves together is to go to church on Sundays. Um, so it's very strange. And it would be sad for her to want to kill the child that she gave birth to, that she bonded with, that she carried, and nurtured and protected. I could more or less see maybe JJ just being in a way because he's not her biological son and she may not have that attachment. But as far as what her step sister-in-law said, or like through marriage sister-in-law, um, she said that she stopped being so nurturing, caring, and loving with both of the children, and she kind of pushed them away a little bit. So she may not have that attachment anymore. I feel when her first husband died of the heart attack, and it is noted again that that's what he died of. There was no chemicals or anything, and they do believe he died in his sleep of a heart attack. I feel it pushed her over the edge. Now she's a single mother. She was young. How is she gonna do it? She's got no, he was paying the medical. He was paying child support. He was taking her on weekends. Now she's stuck with the burden. Plus, having to relocate and start all over again is not easy. I don't know what she got from the divorce. I don't know if she got anything. She could have came in with what she had, which was nothing. That happens a lot. So it sounds like to me that's when she started to go a little crazy with this doomsday, last day on earth, Terminator 1 kind of thing. But if you watch this, thank you. Happy Valentine's Day. I know this is not a Valentine's kind of vlog, but I feel that this is important. The more we talk about it, the more we share this, maybe somebody will see them. Maybe somebody will see JJ. Maybe somebody will see the 17-year-old daughter and will help them. But if we don't know, we don't talk, and we don't communicate as a whole, who knows what could happen to these children. I do in my heart, I feel that they're not alive. It's just been quite some time. But again, thank you. Have a great day.